This is Andi Purewal for ID Boxing. I'm joined by world champion Leigh Wood here in London. Leigh, firstly, how are you?
All right, thanks, mate. Buzzing to be here. Come support our friend Jordan Gill and Matchroom's two new signings, Mark Dickinson and Pat McCormack.
Let's just start off with Mark and Pat, obviously just about to announce their signings with Matchroom. Talk about that move and why you believe it'll be the correct one for them moving forward.
Very talented kids. They did incredibly well as an amateur. Pat, silver medalist, Commonwealth gold. Same with Mark Dickinson as well. Unbelievable amateur career, a massive spell on Team GB. So they've got the pedigree and the work ethic. You can just see them in the gym. When they spar, you can just see the class and talent oozes out of them. The potential they've got as professionals. The sky's the limit for them, and I wouldn't be surprised to see them both win world titles.
Mark especially, he's started his career at a fast pace, very heavy-handed. Moving forwards with him, what do you think is going to be key for his development? Same with Pat.
I think the key for both of them is to get durable opponents, to get rounds in the bank, because they are very strong and they will be blowing a lot of opponents away pretty quick. So I think the main thing at the minute is to be getting them durable opponents to get rounds in. If you look at Pat, 2 fights, 2 knockouts, 2 first-round knockouts, so it's going to be sure to get rounds in the bank because he's so good at this level.
Moving on from that, as you mentioned, down this weekend for Jordan Gill facing Gill-Martinez. Difficult fight, a tough fight as always, but what does Jordan have to do to beat Kiko?
It needs to be switched on for the whole duration of the fight, as long as it lasts. You can't sleep on Gill-Martinez, Galahad made that mistake. Even the Warrington fight last, it was getting a bit sticky towards before the stoppage, as the fight went on. Zelfa Barrett had a hard night as well. So, it's going to be a hard night, but I'm extremely confident in Jordan getting the job done. He needs to listen to Dave. He needs to make sure he's not making any mistakes. And also, I think that the main thing for Jordan is not to do too much, just to win the rounds by enough. Don't win them by too much and conserve the energy over the distance. And I think he can do it.
Do you think it will be one that goes the distance?
I think it possibly will go the distance. My prediction is Jordan Gill points win. But yeah, it's going to be an exciting fight. Always, you've seen Jordan fight, just like myself, it's always an exciting fight. And I'm going to be a nervous wreck watching it, as always, like he is for my fights. But like I said, I'm extremely confident he's going to get the job done.
Let's get your thoughts on a few other topics. Just on the gym front, obviously Josh Taylor announcing he's left the gym to go team up with Joe McNally, just as a former campmate of his. What did you make of it?
Every fighter has to make their own decisions, and they have to live by them. So, if I'd have stayed at my old gym for too long, I wouldn't be where I am now. You have to make the move, and only you feel how you feel. Every fighter is not going to suit every style of training with every fighter. If Nazim Hamed was at another gym, would he have done what he done? If Frotch trained at the Ingle gym, would he have done what he done? You mix and match all these styles of fighters and how they think. You have to go away what's right for you. And Josh feels that move's right for him. So only time will tell.
Leigh, coming on to yourself, obviously a few days ago, the WBA asked to see proof of your injuries after you pulled out the Mauricio Lara fight. Have you sent that off to them yet?
The WBA have my proof of injury. They have my notes and all my files from my doctor. Matchroom solicitors always sorted it. I'm not sure what's taking so long. They haven't came back to us yet. It don't make sense. A lot of people will tag me and stuff and post things and saying you shit it from Lara, but I chose to fight Lara. It was going to be a massive fight. It was going to be my biggest payday in my own city. It doesn't make sense to voluntarily pick someone and not want to fight. Very frustrating that I'm getting shit off people, but hopefully it'll all be cleared up soon. Hopefully I can fight Lara another day, first ring of the year. If the WBA don't let that happen, then I'll fight Santa Cruz, and that's another massive fight as well. Either, I'm just excited to be in a massive fight next, and hopefully, like I said, it's in the new year.
What do you actually think is next? Obviously, everybody's anticipating the Leo Santos Cruz fight to go ahead now, but Mauricio Lara fight, I think everybody would love to see it. And as you mentioned, there were critics over social media of you pulling out of that fight. So what do you believe is most likely?
The most likely situation, I have to expect Santa Cruz because the WBA have ordered it. So I can't see them changing the mind again. They keep changing the mind. So I'm expecting Leo Santa Cruz. But, I'm a man of my word, and I'm going to come through that fight, and hopefully we can get the Lara fight after that.
Mauricio Lara had a few choice words for you last week. What did you make of what he had to say?
It's just crazy, I think he's just using that as publicity for himself. I don't know. It don't make sense, you know. The injury that I sustained, it wasn't a career-threatening injury. It was a very small injury, but it just at the wrong time. It was 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 2.5 weeks out from my fight. I probably needed 3 weeks full rest. Being so close to the fight, I could not punch for that amount of time and then still fight. I tried to rest it for 5 days. Tried to spar again. It was all right for 3 rounds, and then round 4, 5, round by round, it got worse. And by the end of the spar, I can't hold my arm up. So just the timing of the injury, you know. I'm fine now, and I haven't head sparred yet, but I've body sparred. I've done bags, pads, weights. Everything feels fine. So like I said, first thing in the new year, I'm going to be back out, and hopefully I get the opportunity to silence the critics and silence Mauricio Lara as well.
What did you make of his performance last weekend?
You know, I don't want to be too critical, but you know, he's being fed certain opponents to look good. So, but look, he still went out there and did a job and looked good, and looked strong, and does what he does. And no surprise on how he got that job done. He was very picturesque of how he operates.
Josh Warrington fights on December 10th as well. I'm sure you'll be keeping one eye on that one. Do you think yourself and Josh will share a ring at any point?
Yeah, that's a very likely fight. You know, the division always switches and changes. You never know what's around the corner. Hopefully Jordan wins on Saturday and puts himself in the mix as well. Not with myself, but you know, with Warrington or the other champions. So it's a good time to be a featherweight. There's some really good fights to be made, and like I said, I love the Lara fight. If not next, the one after. But we've got to see how it pans out. See what the WWE want to do. It's very frustrating, like I said, but we'll all have a clear path soon, and I just got to crack on with it.
Leigh, just the final one. Yesterday we heard the news about Conor Benn had relinquished his British Boxing Board of Control licence. Obviously, there's a lot of talk still around his positive VADA test a few weeks back. Just want to get your take on that entire situation and how it's unfolded.
You know, I've not commented on the whole situation. I've not tweeted, I've not messaged or had an opinion on it. I think we have to wait for more information before we, you know, trial and hang, execute people without evidence, and you know, we'll see. I think this week or next week we're going to find out pretty much what went off, more details about the situation, and then probably we can make an opinion on it.
Well, Leigh, we'll leave it there now. I'll leave you to get ready for this press conference for your boys. So thanks for speaking to me in ID Boxing.
Perfect, mate. Thank you. Talk soon.